What's up guys, my name's Diachronic Heroes here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about some tips to get to 385 as fast as possible. Now this is more of a part 2 to a previous video, a follow-up to a lot of questions that were on that video. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend you check it out, where I talked about a lot of different things, doing the milestones, doing them in certain orders, doing the normal before doing the prestige Leviathan. There's a lot of tips over there that you should definitely go check out before seeing this video. But if you have seen this video, hopefully I can answer some questions in this video. I'll be talking about other ways to get powerful gear, like for example getting them from Crucible, Curse of Osiris, Escalation Protocol, as well as answering a lot of tips about the raid. People want to know how to find teams for the raid, want to find people who will carry someone who's never done it before, be able to join clans, finding new friends to do raids with. I'll be talking about my tips and insight into this video, because honestly I was there. I had never done a single prestige raid until I think a month ago, and nobody wanted me on their team. So I know how you feel, and hopefully in this video I can offer some tips. And before I move on, here is your daily source of adorable animals. I hope you enjoy. Anyways, with that behind us, let's talk about the first thing. Firstly, you can actually get powerful engrams and powerful drops from resetting your Valor rank. Now obviously this is something that does take a long time. It is not limited per week, so you can do it as many times as you want, but it will take upwards of like, what, 40 hours of doing Crucible to reset your Valor rank to get this powerful gear, so it's not exactly efficient, but it is a way of getting it, and I didn't know at the time because nobody had done it yet, really. So if you want to get your Valor rank up and you want to do Crucible stuff, you know, you can get powerful gear from it, albeit very slowly. Next up, Curse of Osiris guns. The prophetic weapons, the prophecy weapons, they always drop as powerful weapons. If you have yet to do prophecy weapons and you're doing things like heroic events and public events and you're getting amplifiers and blossoms and all those things, go over there and claim some prophecy weapons. They'll always be higher than what you have. So go over there and get those higher level things. Next up, Escalation Protocol. Escalation Protocol does drop powerful gear, a powerful armor piece, and a chance of a powerful weapon. Of course, the weapon will be powerful, but the weapon doesn't always drop at the end once you finish that 7th wave. If you're having trouble finishing Escalation Protocol, I have a video I released a few days ago about it. Go check out that video. It's a decent guide, or check out any other video on the web. It basically, you just want to get 3 fire teams on the ground is the biggest part, and then your light level. And lastly, before I talk about the raid part, Trials of the 9. I kind of glossed over this and just kind of lumped it in the group of the different milestones. Trials of the 9 is a very significant amount of drops that you can get in a single week. I think you can get 5 distinct drops. Some of those are going to be double drops. I think from getting 3 wins, 5 wins, 7 wins, and flawless all give you certain drops. There's probably more drops than I'm even considering. Those are all going to be powerful drops. So it is definitely a very viable source of getting drops. If you can find yourself a full team for communication, good at Crucible, good communication, you might be able to get yourself a decent amount. And even if you just get 3 wins and 3 losses, that's still some powerful gear. Personally, I suck at Trials. That's probably why I glossed over it. So that's probably why I didn't say anything. So let's talk about the raid. Firstly, let's talk about how important it is. Technically, you can complete all your other milestones and get to 385 without ever doing a raid. Now this is possible, albeit it's going to take a little longer and it's going to be a bit more of a grind. Now let's compare exactly how much the raid actually affects you. Now if you consider the raid has 12 distinct drops, that includes the normal and prestige Leviathan and the Eater Worlds raid, not including Spire to Stars, because we'll talk about that in another time. It's too hard at the moment. There is 12 drops. Now if you consider the other 5 milestones, they all drop 2 each. You're gonna have 10 versus 12. So if you look at it, the raid is half of your powerful drops. Now that's not including Trials of the 9, because they have like another 10 or so in there, but the other milestones are about half of the things that you can get. So the raid is actually very important if you want to get any semblance of speed. That being said, I understand your issues with it. Firstly, people don't want to carry somebody who's never done the raid before. Even if you've watched every video on the internet and know exactly what to do, they don't want to afford the chance that they may be wasting hours of their life. So firstly, let's talk about Destiny LFG. LFG means looking for a group, basically a team creation website. There's an LFG for probably every game. I personally use DestinyLFG.net. There is a built-in framework for an LFG on Bungie's site, like literally on Bungie. Find a fire team. There's a legacy and a new one that they're working on, although it's not as good as DestinyLFG.net. My website is very well made. It has pretty much everything you could hope. The messaging directly on there, going straight to PlayStation, going straight to Xbox messages. There's a lot of great things on there. But one of the biggest abilities you have on there is that since it's on the computer and it's a website, when somebody posts saying, hey, I'd like to do the raid, invite me, you can highlight their name, you can put it in the raid report and see how many they have completed. Now, this is also a downside because this means that people who have never completed it will be seen and they will be ignored. And I know how you feel. A few months ago, I had 0 prestige completions. Now I think I have around 10 or something. And that is because of the fact once I started getting a few, everybody started letting me into their teams. But before that, it was an absolute grind. So hopefully in this video, I can address some of those and give you some advice of how I got into some teams. Now, the first thing you want to do is actually just look there. Just go on the different LFG sites, say, hey, I've never done the raid before, but I've seen all the videos and I understand the whole raid and I would love some help doing it. There are actually people on there that say, hey, I'm willing to help. I'm willing to Sherpa. I haven't got much else to do. I'm just kind of casually playing. I'm willing to help do some raid stuff. That being said, you really, really do need to know the whole raid. It is not excusable right now to not know how to do the Leviathan raid, considering how long it's been out. You need to look up videos on the internet, not just mine. Look up the other people, look up the more recent one. There are new recent strategies. And you cannot just ask people to explain it to you, because you're not only wasting that person who's explaining the time, you're wasting all other 4 people in the raid's time waiting for that guy to explain. So efficiency-wise, you gotta look it up beforehand and then confirm things with other people saying, hey, are you doing this strategy where the bottom guy shoots the lower ones and then the plate guy shoots the upper ones? Okay, and then you rotate this way. You gotta confirm with them, prove that you know some things, and then of course maybe ask them to explain 1 or 2 things. That being said, Sherpas are not that common, so don't count on that being a thing. One strategy I would say you can use, which I think I used a couple of times, is if you do have somebody on your friends list who's willing to help you out, who has done raids before, have him post on LFG. They will look up him, say, hey, he's got good enough score, let's join him. And then when they join your party and everybody's collected together, you'll be like, hey, my buddy here has not actually done the raid, he's seen all the videos, he plays this game fairly regularly, I don't think it'd be much problem. Most people are nice people. They say, fine, I'll give you a few chances, probably like 3 to 5 chances. If you don't work out, if you keep failing, they might end up leaving. That's something you should just expect. Especially when you're new to raids. People do that even when you're good at raids. They do that all the time. People they're just impatient little. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it. For the most part, people are nice people. They want to help. They just oftentimes they see that some people haven't done the raid and they go, I don't want to waste that time. I don't even want to get in the conversation with him because then I'll feel bad. And if you get them in the conversation first, then they'll feel bad and then they'll do it with you. And to be completely honest, you don't really need much skill to do the Leviathan raid. You just need to know how to do the things. A lot of the thing is communication based. Which is why when I play on alternate accounts, everybody is okay with me joining because I can do things first try with a lower level account because I know what to do. Second tip for raids is going to be joining clans or like-minded groups of people, and that's not just looking on the app or on Destiny. Don't go to Crucible and be like, hey, can I join your clan? Go on websites. There are very specifically made clan finding websites. I'll try to leave some in the description or maybe on the top comment of the different ones. If you have a recommendation, let me know, and I'll try to approve that comment since links get removed immediately. These websites are like, hey, your clan is probably inactive. Join these clans. They're active, they're helpful, they want to do things like the raid. Even like there's some clans that say, hey, we're all getting into normal Leviathan right now. We're not as good, but we want to get to do the normal Leviathan. Some raids are like, we are hardcore, we are Team Redeem, we finish worlds first all the time. There are clans out there like that, and there's a whole plethora of different options you can use. Go find those. Those are awesome. The whole idea behind clans is amazing. Go find that, leverage out those people, and make friends. So my tip number 3 for doing the raid is gonna be finding friends who will help you and who will join you. Now the best way to do this is to join events that require microphone participation, where you can actually get friends, add people to your friends list, things like the normal Nightfall. Now you can actually find these things on the normal LFG websites saying, hey, I want to do normal Nightfall. Most people, they don't care how good you are. They just say, hey, if you're the right light level of 270 or whatnot, you're good to go. Let's just do it. I personally can solo the Nightfall because I've done them so many goddamn times, but I'll die a lot because I'm not very good. And it's so much better to just have people who have never done Nightfalls with me just because they can revive me or take shots. And it's just so much better to have somebody there. So find these normal Nightfalls, and there's other things you can join, by the way, but normal Nightfall seems to be the most popular lower level thing. that you can do. Find these groups, join them, make friends with them, talk to them, add them friends lists, say, hey, I've never done a raid before. Do you think you're going to be doing some raids anytime soon that you could help me with? And find a lot of these groups. And do multiple nightfalls. Do multiple heroic strikes and see if anybody's in game chat. Maybe do a lot of the Trials of the Nine or Crucible join-ups or Escalation Protocols. Make friends. Make actual friends in Destiny, the people who are actually online, who are consistent, and play with them and make friends. And hopefully you'll make enough friends that you can make your own raid teams. If you don't, then you can use part of that to get your teams on LFG. You'll make friends with people who are on LFG a lot. I find people on LFG who are currently on my friends list all the time because we use the site all the time. And you'll just start to get a group of friends and you won't even need LFG after a while because you'll just have so many groups of friends that you can join the raid with. Anyways, that's the part about the raid. Again, I know this was kind of long-winded. I apologize. I just wanted to be very explicit in how I explain things and very to the point. Some of the last tips I have for you guys if you want to rank up fast. Vendor tokens can help you get up to 345 quickly. That's going to be around the soft cap of the blues and the legendaries. If you're having trouble getting to 345, although most people don't, if you want to blitz it, just turn in your tokens to some vendor, like all of them, and they will just guarantee you better gear every time you do it up to 345. On the topic of the soft cap, I want to clarify some things. I said 335 was a soft cap for blues, and 340 was a soft cap for purples. I still believe this to be true. Some people were saying that's not true. What I mean by soft cap is literally not hard cap. This is not the highest they can ever be. This is the highest that they can be for helping you. So if you are, let's say 320, you're gonna have blues that are gonna be like 326 or 330. They're gonna be blues that help you. Once you reach the highest point that they can be, the soft cap at 335, they will no longer help you. They will always be behind you. And then at some point, they will always be 10 power levels behind your average. So if you're, let's say at 350 or something, you'll start to get blues that are 340. This is the soft cap at 335, not the hard cap. They will always be behind you 10 levels in case you have some armor pieces that are dragging behind too far. You can use these things as kind of a fodder to infuse into your thing. So in general, once you reach the 345 with mods, you're gonna need to get powerful gear and do the things that I described in my first video. And the last point I wanted to make is clan engrams. So right now, clan engrams are broken. Just leave them at Hawthorne. Don't worry about them. They will auto-decrypt at the end of the week and they should be the right power level. However, the clan engrams, those ones that you don't have to be there to participate for, those are most likely just gonna be bad from here on out. I heard from a couple sources that people said that it was intentional, that they thought people using it too much to level up without doing anything, and it's true. That's what a lot of people did. They just signed in to get their, clan engrams while everybody else was doing work, and they were just leveling up from being very passive. So I think they nerfed them. They haven't said that they were a problem. They've mentioned heroic strikes and clan XP being a problem very specifically. So most likely they're not a glitch. Those are just bad, and claim those whenever you want. They're not going to be important. And that's it. That's the video for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hopefully I was able to explain away some of those questions. If you have other questions, try to leave them down in the comments down below. Try to be specific about them, saying, hey, I tried looking for LFG groups all night, couldn't find a single group of people who would find me. Then, ask that question down below. I'll hopefully be able to answer that. Maybe I'll be able to add you guys to do some raids with you. Don't all try to add me at the same time. I'm one guy. I can't help everybody. I'm also not very good at the game. Thank you for reaching the end of the video. Here's some more cute animals. I don't know what to offer you guys. I can't pay you or anything, but here's some cute animals. I hope you guys did enjoy. You learned something. Thank you for reaching the end. Hashtag made it to the end. Hashtag made it on. Hashtag feminism. Anyways, I've been your host, Diachronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.